Turning to new business, resolution number 6, Ms. Doctor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that resolution 2008-073, an intergovernmental agreement with Cochise County for election supplies and services, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Ms. Adams?
Mayor Strain, members of council, for several years the city has contracted with Cochise County for its election services and supplies, and this year is no different. The IGA that's attached to this resolution is for the September 2nd primary and the November 4th general election this year only, and it's generally the same IGA that we've passed several times in the past, with the exception that this year it has been updated to include a provision for ADA compliance at the polling places. And with that, other than that, if you have any questions.
I do have a question. Are we going to help our citizens by voting in the same places in November as we did in September, as maybe we have done in the past?
Absolutely. That was one of the real big benefits when we switched over to the fall elections a few cycles ago, so that we're doing all of the same voting on all the same races with everybody else, so it's consistent from election to election, and it should be for quite a while now, forever.
Do you want to put in a plug on the need for poll workers?
Always need poll workers. Contact Tom Schelling at Cochise County. I don't know his number.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from council? All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Adams. Ms. Husking, next item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that resolution 2008-074, fiscal year 2008 equipment financing and declaring an emergency, be approved.
Second.
Mr. Felix, please. Another emergency.
Honorable Mayor, members of council, this is our annual equipment financing that always comes before you in June. As the city manager, Mr. Petusik, said, we did have 5 bids. The qualified bidders range from an effective interest rate of 4.16% to 4.4%. We recommend De Lange Landen as the lowest qualified bidder at the 4.163%. This is a reimbursement to us for expenditures we have made during the year, and the emergency clause is because the rate is only good for 30 days, and given the bid timing, we have to have it done before the 30 days that the resolution would normally go into effect at. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions or comments? All in favor? It's unanimous. Thanks, Mr. Felix. Now item number 8.
Mr. Mayor, I move that resolution 2008-075, accepting the deed for right-of-way for Nelson Drive from the Sierra Vista Church of God in Christ, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Clausen?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this project, or the accepting this deed, is tied into the Eddie Sear Park project. What we're doing is making some improvements in roadway, and the church, Sierra Vista Church of God in Christ, has agreed to that. We're going to make improvements which will make it a better roadway, and it'll tie in again, like I say, to the Eddie Sear Park project.
And specifically, what goes on with Nelson Drive?
Nelson Drive goes through right now, but they're widening out the, well, I don't know, Scott? I'll defer that to the engineer, sorry.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to repeat the question, Mr. Mayor. It wasn't paying attention, I'm sorry.
For the public, specifically what's going on with Nelson Drive?
That's a part of the Eddie Sear project. We're making improvements to Sear Drive and Taylor. And to tie those roadways into Nelson Drive, we need some additional right-of-way to properly achieve the curve in the roadway and tie back in.
And this right-of-way is church property today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Yes, Mr. Blanchard.
Scott, well, obviously that roadway on Nelson can't be that width all the way up.
No, sir. It is not
It'll just be in front of the park?
That's just enough, we got just enough right of way so we can properly transition back to the existing cross-section of Nelson Drive.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Super Sky, make a good team.
Item number 9.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that ordinance 2008-012, City Procurement Code amendments be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Lawson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Back on May 8th, I presented a revised procurement code, made a lot of the changes that were necessary. It was a 30-day waiting period for a public process. That period's come and gone. There are no, I didn't receive any comments. I don't know if council did, but now we're moving forward with the ordinance to make that law.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Ms. Doctor, item 10.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2008-076, supporting the Sierra Vista Symphony Orchestra to act as pass-through agent, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Felix.
Honorable Mayor, members of council, the Sierra Vista Symphony Orchestra wishes to apply for a grant from the Tohono O'odham Nation for a cultural grant. In Proposition 2002 that was passed a few years back, the agreement with all the tribes and nations within the state of Arizona for their gaming licenses required them to distribute 12% of their proceeds to cities, towns, counties, and nonprofit entities for cultural, safety, and other similar type activities. We have successfully, the city has successfully received grants before. In the past, you have acted as the pass-through agent for the Southwest Buffalo Soldiers grant from the Paskayaki tribe in order to assist with the Colored Officers Club restoration. The Symphony is asking us to be the pass-through agent since one of the clauses of the proposition is that all grants issued by tribes and nations must pass through a governmental city, state, or county government. So we must officially receive the grant and then immediately turn around and give them the money if they in fact get this grant. It is exactly the same as we did with the Southwestern Association of Buffalo Soldiers. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions? Comments? All in favor? It is unanimous. Item number 11, Mr. Mueller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2008-077, appointing Richard Besselman, Ken Garland, and Bradley Schneider to Sierra Vista Planning and Zoning Commission, said terms to expire June 30, 2010, be approved.
Second.
And Mr. Besselman and Schneider are here.
Mr. Besselman is here, and I also have some certificates to give to departing members. How do you want to handle those?
I think we're going to do that on the 26th, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, they're with the clerk right now. Okay. Anybody here besides Mr. Besselman?
Mr. Schneider.
Mr. Schneider. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. And Ms. Adams, are you swearing them in tonight, or have they been sworn?
They've requested that you swear them in at the next meeting.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I'm flattered. Okay, fair enough. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Moved and seconded, all in favor? It's unanimous.